Welcome to Kev's Kitchen, everyone. This is the first cooking video on YouTube that I've ever done. So this is the Epic Homesteading channel. We are doing jalapeños. We're taking them and we are candying them. It's called Cowboy candy. There's a bunch of different ways you can make it, but it all revolves around vinegar, sugar, and some spices to get a little bit of this heat out and get a little bit of sweetness up. And then you use it as a spread or just as a snack or put it on sandwiches or whatever. So that's what we're doing. I've got a bunch of jalapeños straight out of the garden. You can see some sort of wrinkly ones. We have some red ones, orange, green, varying colors, varying flavor profiles. All will be going into this. This is gonna be a refrigerator preserve. It's not gonna be a true can. So if that's something you're into, then stay tuned. I just don't have a canning setup. I just got a set of pots and pans for the first time in 3 months. So let's at least start there, and then we'll get into the more serious preserving later on down the road. Without further ado, Cowboy candy. Cultivate that like button for spicy sweet jalapeños, and let's get into the video. The recipe I'm using is scaled for ½ a pound worth of jalapeños, so I need to figure out how much I have first, and then I will tell you the actual rest of the recipe because I got to scale it to that. Looks like I'm coming up on about 1.5 pounds. Yeah, we're at 1 pound, 6.5 ounces. So we'll just say that's 1.5 pounds. All you really need to get this done is some cane sugar, some apple cider vinegar. I've got some onion powder, but that's just an optional spice. I have some turmeric. In a perfect world, I'd also have ginger. I just don't have it right now. So I'll add a couple extra things in here, probably some special ingredients. Because I have 1.5 pounds of jalapeños, I'm gonna use 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar, 3 cups of cane sugar, and whatever I want of these. I'm just gonna freestyle that. Step number 1 is to process the jalapeños. What we need to do, got a moldy one there, it looks like. That's a little too moldy. What we need to do is we need to cut it into 1/4-inch rounds. Actually, some of these overripe ones actually are too overripe. So I'm gonna let some of those go. We'll throw those in the compost. But what we're doing is we're cutting into 1/4-inch rounds. So I'm gonna take the end off each, just like that. Again, that's gonna go in compost, so don't worry about it. I'll put a little bowl down here for some capture. And then let's just start chopping, and I would recommend gloves if you don't have any discipline and you touch your eyes, because let's just say I've done it before and it's not the most fun life experience to have. So let's go ahead and time lapse this bad boy. Next up, we are just mixing our ingredients before we put our jalapeños in. So I'm gonna do 3 cups of the sugar, which feels excessive to be honest with you, but let's see what happens. What am I at, 3? Yeah, about 3 there. Yep, about 3. Because I tripled the recipe, that's why it feels like it's too much. So we're gonna go 1.5 on the ACV, apple cider vin. Boom. Mix that. In goes just a whatever amount. Okay, well, don't mess around with turmeric because it actually stains quite a bit. But we're gonna do a tiny little bit of turmeric, like maybe a 3/4 teaspoon or so going in. I want some OP in there, some onion powder. This is, I gotta be honest, I'm gonna have to start making my own onion powder because this is embarrassing to have it be this sort of caked up, but let's just pretend like this was not super old onion powder. We'll put that in there. In you go, my friends. Oh my gosh. Okay, we got to start making some epic spices here at the homestead. Now I'm going to grab something special out of the top. I'm going to do a little bit of cumin seeds because I feel like that might taste good. I have no other logic besides that. In fact, I'm also going to do a little bit of chili powder, which sounds counterintuitive. We're putting a bunch of jalapeños in here, but let's just make it a little bit extra hot. Let's do that. Okay, we're gonna mix this up and put it on until it gets to a boil. So we just need to give it a quick little mix. So we're basically gonna heat it up to a rolling boil and then quickly turn it down and simmer it until it starts to thicken, and only then do we put our jalapeños in there. Oh man, it actually smells really good already. Okay, I'm starting to see the gift. On we go. Ooh, first time rocking the all-clad pans too, so I'm really excited. Again, we're just waiting for this to get to a boil, nothing fancy. are officially in simmer mode now. The instructions are to let it set up a little bit, or let it thicken up. Basically just evaporating out some of the water, I suppose, in the vinegar. So let's go ahead and do that. Looks like the sugar's nice and dissolved. Taking on that sort of golden turmeric color. Look at this. That's a nice looking color. It's not quite thick enough yet though, so I'm gonna sit it for about 5, 6, 7 minutes. It's been about 5 or 6 minutes. It's setting up a little bit. I don't think that's the right cooking word, but whatever. It's thickening up a bit. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's get this jalapeno mixture in there. We just put this in for about 5 or 6 minutes or so. Oh my gosh, this is actually gonna be really good. It smells amazing already. Let's get this last little guy in there. Boop. Okay, so you want all of it coated, so let's get it in there, actually saturated, sunk down beneath this spicy surface. Man, that looks good, guys. I think using different color jalapenos for visual appeal is a unique move, but also the flavor profile of jalapenos changes as it ripens. It gets a little bit more mild and a little bit less sweet. Boy, are there a lot of seeds in there. I might be suffering the consequences. We got 5 more minutes to wait. Now, what we're gonna do is just drain off the syrup, which we will still use. But I wanna get just the jalapenos isolated. So you can see they've already softened up. They've really taken in. Ooh, that's some hot, spicy smoke right there. Some of that heat. So now we have our jalapenos isolated. I'm gonna go grab some mason jars. I'll be right back. Make sure that you've cleaned these thoroughly, sterilized them, all that fun stuff. This is not a canning video, so I'm not gonna go through that process for you guys. I will probably in future videos. Now I'm just gonna fill these up as full as I can, probably leave about a 1/4 inch of headroom or so. But man, this is gonna smell really good and it's gonna taste even better. And we had 1.5 pounds, remember that. And honestly, this might only fit into 2 of these 4 mason jars. So they cook down pretty seriously. If you were to can this, you would probably go with a water bath can after this point and pack them down, you know, fill in your syrup, all that good stuff. So there we go. Yeah, we're probably gonna fill, we won't even fill 2, I don't think. Whoops. That's fine, I just gotta grow more jalapenos next season. With the space I have, I can probably grow 100 pounds of jalapenos in a row of a garden, something like that. This part of the video is called How to Miss the Mouth of the Jar, because I think I've spilled like 7 jalapenos. There we go. I mean, we got kind of close. Let's put these dragglers in here. Man, I'll tell you, that smoke is hot. You don't want to mess with that smoke. We're gonna fill up. This is where a funnel would be handy, but again, I just moved in, so I don't have one, so we're just gonna do this. Not bad. Okay, that actually worked out really well. Same here. Remember, don't waste the rest of this. You just sort of created a jalapeno syrup infusion. And so the rest of this, I'm actually just going to pour into one of these unused masons, and I can use it as a baste or a marinade or all sorts of different stuff like that. So this is still very good stuff to use. And look at that. Got a nice little setup there. It's been a couple days. You could have just tasted it right out of the gate, but I wanted to give it a little bit of time, perhaps for that pickling to start happening just a little bit. Again, it's not really a true pickle. It's more of a refrigerator style pickle, but anyways, seeds in, jalapenos in. Let's see how hot this is. I mean, okay, that's gonna be hot for sure. I can feel the storm brewing, but the sweetness is really there. It's like a nice sweet heat. The sugar, the turmeric, the spices that we use, yeah, it's getting kind of hot. Oh, it's good though. I mean, it's really good. I would say putting this on like some crackers with some cream cheese might be the optimal application of this stuff. And remember, we still have the syrup in the fridge to use as a marinade or as a cocktail syrup, something like that. I'm struggling a little bit with the heat right now because my spice tolerance isn't very high, but I hope you guys enjoyed the first Cooking with Kev or Epic Eats episode. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Until next time, good luck in the garden and good luck in the kitchen, and keep on growing.